everyone. Welcome back. Good to have you here. Fayez, Jordan, Zed, Anna. We have the one and only Brad Basham here in the house, in the flesh. Day 3. Feeling good.
Hard to believe.
Feeling a little, actually feeling better than we did yesterday, to be honest. We won't have to get into it, but like,
Probably
today is a good day.
Feels like it. Yeah. It's hard to believe it's day 3 already.
I know. It's kind of like our Friday in a way.
Yeah.
You know, so day 3, this is our last day. We have you for 2 hours, which is awesome. Special thank you to Voodoo Val for kicking off the Daily Creative Challenge. Get involved in that. We have the challenge. Well, we don't have the challenge tab, but we have challenges going on. Today is all about portfolio reviews, so get those submitted and we'll review those in about 90 minutes. And then we'll have some fun random, or not so random giveaways as well, just so you know. But we want to welcome you, Anna and Samantha, and Tim, my friend, and Keita Jones in the house. And everyone. So also let us always like to hear, you know, where people are from, you know, where they're hailing from and all that good stuff. Brad, you got to take off, head back home to LA.
Los Angeles.
Yeah.
But not till Sunday. I get to spend the weekend with friends and family first up here.
Oh man, that's a good call. And I think it's going to be nice in terms of weather and all that good stuff.
It was beautiful yesterday.
Yeah, so.
Felt like Los Angeles. I didn't know where I was.
Felt like LA. Yeah. Good old LA.
Carlo from Brazil. Where in Brazil? I was there a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Big country.
I usually ask that, and then I realize I only know 2 places only know 2 places really, like Sao Paulo and Rio. So anything outside of that, I'm just like have no idea what you're talking about.
Right.
And Brasilia, right? Isn't that in Brazil?
Brasilia's the capital, right?
Yeah, I think so.
This is a slippery
Help
slope
us
to
out.
embarrassing ourselves.
Yeah, Carlo, tell us everything you want about. Educate us about Brazil. Would love to see it. But yeah, we're going to educate you on Photoshop again, day 3. I think the past 2 days worth a rewatch. I know Brad will probably open up maybe his project that kind of started on the first day and he completed, but then also worked on it outside of day 1 with the fish and the city.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I'm ready to get started if you are.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I promised you guys I would finish putting those sharks and different things into what we did from the first day. And I did finally do that. There's not much to show you. I didn't do anything new in terms of technique or anything. I changed up the type a little bit to make it a little bit more playful. And kind of got things living in there a little bit better.
Oh yeah, you added more.
I got a little octopus in there.
Oh, that's fun. Nice.
I got a school of fish. Got those sharks in there. They were tough, actually. I had a hard time getting them in there.
Really?
I'm not, nothing's perfect. Good enough.
Yeah, and honestly, like people don't know kind of where you started from. Like even if you take the guy, he was not in that position. Like you took legs from one guy, upper body from another guy. So like people I have no idea what shape this was in prior, like with the, sharks and different things. So.
I wish we could do like the fast speed replay of everything that happened.
Yeah, I wish that was actually a feature in Photoshop. If it just like you could kind of, I kind of want it to record, but then it's going to take up CPU, So.
Yeah, good point.
But there used to be a program that was not an Adobe program, Painter. Do you remember Painter? It was called Painter.
I do remember it.
It was literally painting, and it had a record feature, and you can play it back. But again, super cool. We have some cool things coming from that respect for mobile devices. We have some exciting things coming from Adobe, just FYI.
I'm excited.
So, yeah.
Anyway, I did this stuff. This guy is up on my Behance page now, so you can check it out. I said I'd put the layered file online. I couldn't figure out how to do that right away, so you just got the JPEG for now. But watch the video again if you want to see how it's built.
Maybe, again, if people follow you on Behance, like when you do like make the project or whatever, it should pop up in everybody's feed and they can, like if you decide to put a link to download the files or whatever else.
Okay, yeah, cool. So for today, go back to the sort of PDF that I made to start the week. This was day 1, this was day 2. We may do some of this today. This was just sort of a random idea with a snake wrapping around a person's face, kind of looking at him in the eye. But I thought we'd start with something like this. Yeah, play with compositing these pieces together. This hand is from one shot and the face is from a different one, and so on.
Yeah, that sounds good. And I do kind of want to talk about, like, I think people can learn a lot just from, like, say, mistakes or things that just didn't work out and why they didn't work out.
We did plenty of that yesterday. Mistakes.
Yeah, we do.
Things that weren't working out.
We did them on purpose, by the way, to show you how to not do things.
They kind of came together.
No, are you kidding me? It was awesome.
This is, for those of you that weren't watching, this is what we did yesterday.
Yeah. I love this. I love the whole idea. I love, like, we got to see 3 different treatments and still sort of in combined sort of poster with the tagline and title provided by you, chat. So thank you so much, everyone.
Yeah.
So do you know if when Apple will release the full version of Photoshop for iPad? No. Well, no, we can't. No. I don't have to be so rude about it. But we can't give any dates, but we're actively working on it as we speak.
I'm gonna get started with this image. Yeah, let's go full screen.
Rod said it was amazing yesterday, by the way.
Wait, is this opening up? Thank you, Rod.
That looks like it was doing camera raw.
Yeah, why did it open
That
in a
was
raw file?
interesting.
Why did it do that? It's a JPEG. That doesn't normally happen. I don't think I've ever had that happen.
What does that say? I don't know. That's a good question.
Well,
but there you go.
That's cool.
Just open image and then it will be fine.
Yeah. I don't think I need to change much here.
Yeah, looks great.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, great photograph. Is this from Adobe stock?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, this is a fun image to play with, I think, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, I mean, there's like crisp, you got all this you can just go nuts with. Boy, she was pretty. She did her eyebrows a number is what I was gonna say. Don't have to work on those eyebrows. No, they've already been retouched and then some. Like, wow.
Yeah, those are real.
All right.
All right, let's start by masking her out. This might be a pretty quick job.
You're going through channels.
Again.
You're going through channels, shortcuts, boom, boom, boom. Look at that.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Just about right already.
And can you open up the channels panel just so we can see what magic? Oh, I guess you don't even need to worry about it. It's already done.
I'm just doing it all behind the scenes.
Can we all just admire how fast you're working, by the way? And you're gonna be like, and done. We just got here. What did we do the rest of our time?
Yeah.
Keita Jones, are those eyebrows unrealistically dark? That's for you. That's a personal opinion.
I would say so. I think
I would say so too.
Just a little bit of paint.
What is it like? Come on, pump the brakes a little bit.
Yeah.
But again, that just means I'm probably too old and just don't get it, or something.
Me both. I could probably clean up this mask, but I'm not sure we're gonna need to. We'll do that later if need be. I don't know if you guys can see the. Well, not like that. I thought I had turned this off.
Yeah,
this like pixel grid bugs me.
Yeah, it bugs me too. When have I ever needed it? 0 times.
Literally never.
Personally.
There we go. If it bugs you guys, you can turn it off by going to whatever it was. What did I do? Window? No.
Might have been View.
View.
Under View, and then there was a sub-menu for.
Yeah, right. Anyway.
Show, or extras, but yeah. Eldar, welcome.
You know. Well, never mind. Okay. We'll go straight to the hand real quick. That's gonna take a little bit more time because I can't just channel mask this. These guys are not bouncing off each other the way that the silhouette was. So usually I open up an image and I spend a little bit of time kind of just staring at it, trying to decide what the best strategy is. Depending upon the contrast of the edges that I want, I'll decide whether I want to use a brush or the magnetic lasso tool. At least at the beginning here, it's a perfect sort of case for the magnetic lasso. But then it kind of gets a little hairy, and we'll see. It might kind of do half and half
It's doing
here.
pretty good so far.
Yeah, it's handling it. We can
Wow.
always clean it up.
So again, magnetic lasso, something that I don't see many people using, but you just like wield it like a pro, and you could.
I think most people even, that I work with, kind of hate it. So it takes a bit of getting
But
used
you're
to.
also able to. What I like about it is you're able to shift from the magnetic lasso and like turn that off, right? As you're holding down
So a
Alt
reminder
key.
that I'm holding Option on a Mac.
Yeah, option.
Well, I'm not holding it. Well, I am now that I want the polygon lasso tool because it wasn't latching onto these lines very well. So as long as I'm holding Option, it will continue to do that. But as soon as I let go, it goes back to, so now I'm hands-free here, it goes back to the magnetic. And usually this needs a little bit of cleaning up, but it's a pretty darn good start. And I'll go back in with the brush and deal with that later. One thing, this has bugged me forever, but using the Wacom tablet and the magnetic lasso together can be a challenge because I think I talked about this before, but I can't tell you how many times I've like accidentally closed a path prematurely, and it does something weird, and it makes 5 minutes of tracing something unusable.
A nightmare. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, we have some exciting things coming. I know Photoshop for the iPad actually
Ooh, I'm
deals
excited about
with like tracing even easier. So
See,
imagine.
It just happened there. I don't know if you guys saw that, but I was, didn't really cost me much there, but I was sort of halfway through this thing, and it just kind of closed on me without wanting to do it. Sorry, Paul, I interrupted you.
No, I don't want to give away too much, but basically if you're using the lasso tool on the iPad, if you draw with the lasso tool, it never closes the line. If you take your hand off of the iPad, it doesn't ever close because the problem is it closes it. So what it kind of treats it just as a regular line until you click a button saying close path or connect path is what it does.
Cool.
So nice. So you could trace, take your hand off it, look at it, start tracing some more, and you're just adding to that selection each time. So good.
What am I going to do with all these shortcuts that I like to show off?
Well, yeah.
I'm going to have to change my
No, you
workflow
don't.
completely.
Okay, so I don't. It's no, it's not. It's not that at all. In fact, I think they basically were saying shortcuts. They're fully aware of people using shortcuts, and they're looking out for you, basically.
I believe it.
Like they made it sound like it's almost easier. Like the shortcuts come first before the tool is what it almost sounded like. And maybe if you're a developer, maybe even testing something might be easier to implement the shortcut for the tool rather than the other code of building the button.
Do you have a keyboard that you're like?
You can connect a Bluetooth keyboard.
Cool, man. I'm excited to try that.
So.
All right, I'm just gonna refine this mask a little bit.
Is there a difference between the Mac and PC version of Photoshop? Yeah, you can download actually a cheat sheet from directly in Photoshop, by the way. If you go to keyboard shortcuts, summarize. So this is awesome. You see right here, just go keyboard shortcuts, even whichever ones you've modified, you can go to summarize, and this gives you an HTML file of a summary of everything in case you wanted to print it out. I guarantee you there's plenty of keyboard shortcuts out there on the interwebs, by the way. It's just one specifically for you. You can go ahead and...
I have a question.
Yeah, buddy.
Do you know if there's a way to export every single setting and sort of customized bit of Photoshop in one thing? You know, so when I want to start on a new computer, like if I start a new job or something, I need to separately go load my actions, load my brushes, change my shortcuts, load, whatever saved HDR settings I have. All that stuff needs to be sort of loaded separately.
Which kind of makes you not...
one click.
Yeah, it kind of makes you want to not like update or whatever.
Yeah, or change computers ever.
Change computers. I'd have to check. I mean, we know preferences can be copied over or associated with your Adobe ID, but that's just preferences.
Right.
It's not all this other stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of, I mean, also workspace stuff, you know, which panels you like to have where, and
Yep.
There's a lot of stuff.
A lot of those exist in the same, roughly the same library, like folders on your desktop. But I probably wouldn't just copy all those folders and drag them over. I mean, I wouldn't put it past me to actually do that. But yeah, good question.
All right.
All right, so you jumped in there. You were using selected mask, right?
Yep.
Just so you know, just so Rachel Miller knows. Hello, Rachel.
Sort of paying the price for trying to take a few shortcuts here. For once, this mask just isn't
I think
quite
this
clean
is
enough.
like this is our life. Though. Like this is kind of what you do. Is like it starts out kind of rough, then you see all these holes. Now that you have it isolated.
Yeah. Exactly.
And I like how you're doing this because you're holding down the Shift key and using a brush,
Yep,
right?
just a hard edge brush. Well, mostly hard edge. And again, that's on a Mac Control and Option to sort of do this heads-up display
Visually.
thing. Dragging left and right changes the size, and up and down changes the hardness of it. And that's only true for these kind of the basic round brushes here. You can change the size on any brush, but you won't be able to change the softness of many brushes.
Yeah. And then you just I know you do that click a lot. Click. How are you making that a straight line with the brush?
Yeah, right. Holding Shift. So if you hold Shift, it will go from. So I put a mark there, and if I'm
Hold the
holding, I hold
Shift.
Shift now, and then click over here,
Boop.
and it gives me a straight line
Yeah,
between
that's
2
awesome.
points. This hand is kind of in the focal point of the image, so I want the mask to be pretty tight. And it's not. So maybe I shouldn't have used a magnetic lasso on this one to begin with, but because,
Man.
you know.
I mean, you know what you're doing. You've done this 1,000 times before. I just
Yeah.
tend to think there's like not necessarily we have lots of magic buttons, but that gets you like 80% there. So that got you like 80% there at least.
Totally.
So yeah, that's a good question about our shortcuts being the same for Photoshop, Illustrator, and InDesign.
Ooh, that is a big image.
Yeah.
Every time I do something like this, I'm thinking of that, like, what was that game people played as a kid? You know, like if your hand is bigger than your face, then someone like hits you.
Oh, then they yeah.
But I'm always thinking about that. Like, is that about the right proportion? It looks about right, doesn't it?
And this is interesting though, because you don't have her own hand for reference.
I don't. Right. Is that a little too big? What do we think?
I think is it a touch too big? I'm comparing it to my.
How do it?
Like,
That looks about right.
Can I go from? I'm trying to go from thumb to my middle
Right.
finger. If it'll spans.
How do you guys think we're doing?
How does that
I'm
look?
gonna go
Open to
with that.
suggestions.
Lighting on these is pretty similar. They're not perfect, but I think it's good enough. And yeah, I was gonna actually try something I've never done before, which seems risky.
Sounds like a great idea since you're
Live.
working live.
Totally. How do you guys feel about that? You know, this
Into
is just
it.
not good enough. Yeah.
Just reading over the. I mean, Tim is right, of course. Like, it's hard to get rid of tools or change things because people are used to working that way. And that's how you tick off people, is by changing something.
Yeah.
So we can't go through and make all the shortcuts from one to the other. The question is, like, why wasn't it the same from the beginning is my question. And a lot of them are, but why aren't all the keyboard shortcuts the same? From InDesign to Illustrator to Photoshop.
I wish I knew the answer to
And
that
it's
question.
almost like on an individual basis. Yes, they are the same in some cases, but they might deviate in others, and there's probably specific reasons why. And I could have swore I remember seeing keyboard shortcuts that you could load up into, I thought it was Illustrator, or it might be InDesign, that you could say, hey, use the Photoshop shortcuts.
I did see that recently
for,
on InDesign.
like,
It
InDesign.
changed a couple things.
Yeah, maybe it is InDesign. So you can actually change it. Anyway, so there's ways to do it, but not out of the box.
All right, we're gonna get experimental here, guys. And just see how it goes. So I'm gonna make a selection of the hand. I'm gonna do a new color layer, solid color, and make it sort of a shadow color for now. Put it on multiply, and I'll link it to the lady. Okay, so the part that I've never done before is turning this. How should I do this? Let's just see what happens. I'm gonna apply this layer mask. Apparently I'm not.
Yeah, you need to rasterize the layer.
Rasterize layer is what I need to do here.
Is it in there?
There we go.
Rasterize layer.
Hide in plain
Now
sight.
you can-
Now I can apply my layer mask. Thank you.
And then go stretch out your
Oh
Photoshop.
gosh, I said I
you're
wouldn't
good.
do that today.
You could. If you didn't, what would we comment on?
So I'm gonna try puppet warp for this here shadow, which is
Yes.
I've never done this before. It just kind of seemed like an interesting idea.
Yes.
So
100%.
places, I need to add some points, I guess. Places where it's closer to her.
The question is, okay, I do have a thought for you. Before you do this, do you make that a smart object?
Well, that's what I was sort of hesitating
Or
about a second
not.
ago. I'm not
Maybe you
sure.
don't.
At the end, I'm just gonna want
It's
the
better
shape
just to
of it,
work
and
in-
then I'm gonna turn it into a curve probably and blur it and mess it all up
Okay.
anyways. So,
Yeah, you do your thing.
anyway, so yeah, we're just gonna, like I said, get experimental here. I'm just sort of adding the points where I think I'm gonna need to move this thing around. So first, I think I want this finger more or less touching the head there. So I'm gonna do that. And then probably just gonna dip into this space there a little bit and kind of over her nose. I feel like this is gonna work. What are you looking at shadows there? What are you?
No, I was just trying to see.
So I could also like paint this in. There's a million ways to do anything in Photoshop. We all know that, but
I love this.
I wanted to try something new.
This is exactly the way I would do it because this is just so easy.
Yeah, it's
So again, Puppet Warp, the great thing about Puppet Warp is it keeps all those pins, so if we go back in and change it, it's just so nice. The nose will be probably the most difficult part. Like that just, you know, who knows what that's going to.
yeah, not me. But we're just kind of gonna try and get close with this thing here. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Rod. So Rod did point out the folder that has all the settings in it. But, yeah. It's right, Crystal. Puppet Warp is just
Works magic.
pretty magical. I was literally using it today as well.
That's getting close, I would say. Over these lips, maybe?
And, yeah.
What you got?
Oh, nothing. I mean, there's going to be lots of darkening and lightening and different things.
Oh, yeah.
And we'd have to think about, like, how does this, I mean, this is a strong shadow compared to, what other shadows do we compare it to, like, on her face, like under her neck, that sort of thing. So, like, when it comes to matching and how strong that light is,
Yeah.
what other parts of that photo influence those decisions?
I think in terms of the, you know what? Now, I hadn't thought about this. Now I'm seeing why we should have made it a puppet warp. You were right all along. I mean, a puppet warp. Smart object. Because I could have gone back in and edited it.
But you could
I
still
can just do it again.
You could still use pop.
I can do it again, but it's not going to give me my points back, right?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Nah, they're gone.
Oh, I'm so sorry. You're right. Oh, I lied.
Well, you made up for it by being right to begin with.
Yeah. Want to welcome Seth from Minnesota. They're having a blizzard in Minnesota, so he gets the day off. There's a blizzard going on in Minnesota.
I thought that they like worked through literally everything in Minnesota. You know, like
oh yeah.
Like,
oh, I believe it.
Just
They're
another blizzard.
It's so true. So it must be a whole thing, but who knows?
Yeah. Well, I hope everybody's okay.
But maybe not for like this time of year. Like who knows? I know there's.
Yeah.
It's like Montreal. It was basically pretty much summer, and then they had a big blizzard, but everybody already took off their snow tires. So when they had the blizzard, they had like a ton of accidents because nobody had their snow tires on anymore, I guess.
Okay.
Anyway.
All right. Let's see.
I would say Kevin says always work 100% non-destructive. Discuss. I would just say if you're afraid of commitment, Kevin, then you can work non-destructively, or you just commit.
Kevin,
you push those pixels around with authority. You don't go back and change your mind later. I'm just kidding. It just kind of depends, because also you want to.
I work non-destructively on images 100% of the time, but for something like a shadow, it's effectively a painted layer anyways, so that's kind of different for me.
Yeah.
Though I do wish that I had done that shadow as a puppet work, but I keep saying that as a smart object. Boy.
Do you find sometimes you'll get lost in the details of these, and by the time sometimes you just don't notice the details by the time it's all said and done.
Mm-hmm.
Like the shadows could be so light, like nobody's ever gonna see that that's exactly correct or whatever.
Right.
Kevin, good, I like it. The old school way is just copying the layer, right? I do that. You just duplicate a layer, you just duplicate it so you have that backup.
Oh yeah, right.
All the time.
Right. Then you have 400 layers in your file.
Yeah, just like have that backup, because I'm not sure.
Yeah. Okay, now I need to, well, let's see, maybe I'll go a little bit darker. I'm deciding if I want to get experimental again here. Let's do it. I don't think it's going to be a long experiment, so I'm actually going to how am I going to do this? Part of the reason I want to do it is because it also shows a trick that I have used before and kind of like. But I gotta think my way through it.
Yeah.
All right, let's just see how quick we can do this.
Thank you for the comments. We really appreciate everybody has a good eye. We'll fix the pinky finger shadow.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Is that an international term? Is this always known as the pinky finger? I'm kind of curious. They called it the baby finger.
It doesn't sound very official, does it?
Doesn't. I'll tell you what is official is the fact that we're doing a chat and win, which is why we have fireworks behind us.
Already, wow.
So let's dive into chat and win right now. Welcome back, everybody. Chat and win. So all that means is you need to say something in chat, preferably in English, so we know there's a real person at the end of your keyboard, and we'll give you 100 stickers just because we can. Whoa, Justin goes a little nuts. It looks like a cat's walking on your keyboard. I don't know if that's gonna count. We're gonna pick somebody at random. Just be like, hey, Brad, nice hair. Hey, Paul, I noticed you got a haircut. Yeah, I did. So did Paco.
Good looking haircut.
Thanks. We're like, we got the cool.
I should have gone with you guys.
Yeah, she was like professional. You actually looks good.
You know what's funny? I was looking at the feed of us, and I went to the wrong side of my head because of.
Oh yeah, right. You're like.
It's like.
Oh wait, I don't go that way.
How do I get to this spot? Brad, nice hair. Thanks, Justin.
We appreciate it, Brad Nicer. Thank you. Kita's moving up the leaderboard to, I don't know, we'll pick a name at random, and that name happens to be Simon Kirkman. Congratulations, Simon Kirkman. You're the proud winner of 100 stickers of Brad's headshot, like his face, that you could put everywhere. It's just going to be Brad's face. Just kidding.
I don't think Justin would have typed as many times.
Yeah. Easy Justin. He clearly fell asleep face down on his keyboard and is having a nightmare. Anyways, so congratulations, Simon. We will give you 100 stickers from Sticker Mule. Everybody else, you can get 10 for $1. So you can, again, design something, turn them into stickers, and have them printed through that URL. So yeah.
We're back, huh? All right, guys, things are gonna get weird for no more than a couple more minutes. If this doesn't work, we'll try something else. So I am trying to paint away the places that I want blurrier.
You're gonna paint that away.
I'm just gonna paint it away. And then I want the places where it's kind of touching her to be, and again, we can finesse this later, but I want that to be
It'll be, yeah.
pretty dark. And I think it can be kind of rough and it'll be okay. But these definitely need to get. Oh. I wish you guys could see what just happened.
Oh, I missed it.
All right, given that this is an experiment, that might be good enough.
You're painting away you are painting away where it's further away from her face.
Where it's further away from her face is the idea. I should probably do it with a little bit more detail, but.
Because really, she's just touching her thumb and her pointer finger.
Yeah, exactly.
It looks like, and
then everything else I can get lighter. That's a little darker again.
I do also want to remind everybody of the portfolio reviews we'll have in 55 minutes. So get those in. Just use the portfolio review tab. Submit it, and we'll review it.
What I had done there, by the way, was I did that shortcut where you snapshot everything to a layer, and I put it on the top at like 10% opacity, just so I had some reference.
Yeah.
So now this experiment's going to come to life for better or for worse. I am going to, let's see, I guess I'll merge these. Is that right? Yeah. And put the layer mask there. Okay, I hope that kind of made sense. Anyway, I have this single layer now that's black on white with this layer mask that I've kind of painted where the spots that are close to her face are darkest. And I can already see that that's, well, anyway, good enough. Oh, I see. So here's the experiment. I'm gonna go to lens blur. Filter. I have a shortcut for this, but I'm just gonna show you here anyways. Lens blur.
Lens, is
and
that a center point?
It normally will come up as a default where this thing here, source, says none. And then I can adjust like how much blur I want, kinda. But I can go here to source layer mask. And then sometimes you have to invert it, and here I do, because I think the tip of the thumb and the tip of the finger were touching her. And so I gotta invert. And that's inverting like what it's reading is the blurry parts and not. And now it's blurring more where I painted away more and less.
That's amazing, Brad.
Yeah, we'll see if this works.
I'm learning stuff. I did not. So again, lens blur, source layer mask, invert it if you have to, and
And now I can make a selection of this. I probably got to invert that. Turn this off.
Okay.
Turn my shadow off. And let's just see how this looks. Actually, what I should be doing is replacing the mask on my old shadow because we already adjusted those levels a bit. And kind of worked. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, I totally think it does. And again, you're adjusting curves. What's the curve above that? You have two curves?
Oh,
one's
this
just
is one.
turned off.
Yeah, I don't need that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good start. Of
yeah,
course, erase some of that and stuff.
I think it's a little bit too dark and so on, but just to show you guys this sort of like
shape
the way that it fades to
Look
this
at
blurriness nicely is what I'm looking at right now.
Looks good.
And yeah, and I'm thirsty.
Yeah, drink time.
Yeah.
Question times. Let us know.
Yeah. Does anybody have any questions about that process? There are a lot of steps, I guess. Shadows are important and difficult sometimes.
And really, it's all studying from real life, knowing how shadows fall. Like, we haven't worked on the color yet, just done the shape and the blurriness.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's already, I mean, yeah, it's already looking pretty good. And I love how you do shadows with curves. You're the only one that I know that does that.
Do you do it with
I would literally like paint on a layer with a sampled dark color shadow.
Right. Which may be just a better way to do it. I guess I like being able to sort of look at this as I go, and
I think your way is better. Because I'm indiscriminately just picking a color and painting it someplace, and you're saying this is going to be a darker version of whatever color that is. It's a darker version, as if it's in shadow.
yeah.
But the key thing is neither one of us are just grabbing black and painting and assuming that's going to that's going to work.
Black is bad in that
Yeah.
context. That's interesting.
Why has she got fat fingers? I don't know. Be nice, Anita.
Yeah, come on.
Come on now.
I
I still wanted you to get a dude's hand. Just like hairy knuckles.
These things.
Oh, and that's a good point, Anita. Like, first of all, you don't want to make things look unrealistic, but what sort of adjustments? We could do as many of these adjustments that we want.
Oops.
You know.
Sometimes I get lost in the maze of Photoshop also. I don't know why this curve isn't showing up now that I put it in a group. There it is. Oh, it worked. Strange. Okay, I wanted to put it in a group so that I can paint away these other parts without messing with my mask in case I want to use it later.
Yeah.
So it's basically just a way to put two different masks on a single layer. And it can also help keep you organized. But now that I've done that, I'm no longer linked here to the layer below. So this is a situation where I would want to group everything together and then actually put the mask for the woman on the group.
Boom.
So it's all about these groups. And now I can add a layer mask to my group here, and I can paint away the spots on her neck that I don't want.
Yeah.
Like that.
And hopefully that makes sense, because it's like if you want to have more than one mask on a layer, put it inside of a group or a folder, and that's where you add another layer mask, which is awesome.
Could have just put a brush on higher opacity there, but
right side.
okay.
Alvaro, I don't know what you're talking about exactly, but the hand does, the shadows do get blurrier. Ooh, I'm so glad you're working on the color now a little bit, right?
Yeah. A little bit. It was too green in the highlights. I'd say that's pretty good, right?
That's
maybe
pretty
too dark in a couple
places?
places?
Yeah, it's a little dark. Does the
So now with like a 10% brush, I'm softening it.
And I do think that part by her pointer finger is pretty sharp. Like, I know it's touching, but like it just is very odd. Like, I almost don't want to see it or something. Like, maybe it's connected so much that there's pretty much nothing there or something. Like, yeah, there we go. Yes. Perfect. I like it. Have it blend into her painted eyebrows. What are you doing? Oh, come on. Show a little restraint. All right, Kevin. Warm light, cold color shadow, cold light, warm color shadow, shadow color. I've never heard that before, but I'm into it.
Is that a general thing, or do you think the color of my shadow is wrong?
No, I think he's saying in general.
Yeah, okay.
And is there an easier way to do this? You know, again, painting on a layer could work, but I think this is probably the most accurate way you could do things.
To do a shadow?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. There is definitely shortcuts, easier ways, but they might not look as good.
This is, yeah. No, this is
it's kind of hard. I guess one of the reasons I did that, even if it was unnecessary, is just because I wanted to show you guys that using lens blur trick.
Yeah.
Because that it's especially useful if you have, like, imagine a silhouette or a person backlit, and the shadow is coming towards you, and that shadow should get really blurry as it comes towards you. And it's not actually that easy with other methods in Photoshop to have something sort of transition from crisp to blurry. You have to, like, use a ton of the blur tool, or the smudge tool, like Sasha showed, I think.
Yeah. And this is not an easy task, by the way, because you don't have a lot of. I mean, you have. I wish you had her hands and more information in the photo to make sure we're matching everything. But yeah, what does everybody think? What else do we need to do to, like, adjust this? Is the hand too big? We already talked about that earlier. Is the wrist too big? Do we need to puppet warp the hand just a touch, or do we, like, do some liquefy on it, or what? Does her wrist look a little thick is what I'm wondering. Like, should it actually, let me try to figure out this.
Maybe she got a strong wrist.
I don't know. Thoughts?
I think, so, you know, this is a perfect example of something that 99% of what I do, this is already better than is required, right? Like, this would show the client the idea, and then we can go back in and finesse it later. I mean, our idea is not even really here yet. Now we're going to start doing some fun stuff and make this more stylized. But in terms of the size of the hand and the size of the wrist and how perfect my shadow is, like, this is more than good enough.
And honestly, like, when I looked away and then looked back at it, like, I think it looks good. I think we know it's her hand's not really there, but, like, you're selling it really well. And again, all the effects and various things you'll do to it going forward be interesting. What would actually be kind of interesting, and I know this is not your plan, but what if there was a shaft of light that was being cast on her face, and then the hand, and we're not doing that.
Paul's trying to make a pitch for a 4 to 8 hour Adobe Live broadcast here.
Oh, look at you. Whatever you're doing, even that looks cool. I don't even know if that was a mistake or not, but. Okay, so Anita is saying the hand is too masculine. It's fine. We'll move on to something else, and we could always go back to it. I'll
paint the nails later. That'll help.
Yeah, we'll paint just one nail.
Just one nail.
That's actually the cool thing to do, right? To do.
Is it? I guess I've seen that before.
Yeah, like maybe all the nails are one color, but like maybe two have a little design on them or something.
I feel like there's this like cliche that designers are hip and cool, and I am neither of those things, guys.
I know. You certainly aren't.
It's tough.
Just kidding. I'm joking. Yeah, you are. You're not, like, hip and cool.
I mean, I'm not painting one fingernail. I don't have any tattoos.
I'm not doing, same here, no tattoos, no fingernails being painted. I will say that you understand style, I think. Right? In general.
Sure.
You do.
On a good day. Appreciate it.
Like, yeah, you do. You got the cool jacket. Yeah. This is kind of a
t-shirt. Yeah.
I mean, you just understand style. Whether you're wearing all the things is another story.
Brian just asked how am I doing that, but I don't know what she's talking about.
Anita, I like how Anita's our resident like stylist right now. She's like giving us little tips on the eyebrows and the different things. So she says pink, please. Well, we'll work on that later.
Yeah.
What is the plan? Are you gonna do some?
I'm gonna colorize this now.
Okay.
And make it more fun, because this is not an advertisement for a manicure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't really know how I'm gonna do it yet, but we'll. I guess that's the theme of the day is experimenting, right?
Exactly. Kevin, I love his idea. Just like add one more finger, just to see if anybody notices. You know, it's like a Photoshop fail, but you do it on purpose.
Yeah.
That's funny. Well played.
That would be great.
Bran, feel free to watch the recording. You probably spent a good 30 minutes on the shadow, which is like not even that long. But
right.
That's why I'm glad these are recorded. In the past 2 days, you did some coloring yesterday. I can imagine you'll do it in a similar way.
Yeah. I'm going to, let's see, what did we do yesterday? We did some gradient maps. I'm gonna colorize her with a gradient map.
Okay. Very cool. You can do the whole thing, or just her the whole image?
I'm gonna do her face and her hand a different color. I think I saw some scrap. There's that word again. That I liked where the hand and the face were totally different colors, and I thought that looked kind of cool.
And then can you do a shaft of light? Just kidding. I'll stop. I'm pushing hard for that.
But now I lost my train of thought. What was I doing? Oh, I just wanted to look at. I kind of liked the sort of rough colors that I did before, so.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go look at those again. Yeah. I'll bring it in for reference. I might change my mind again, but put that up here. Oh, apparently I used the wrong shortcut.
Yeah, you were creating a snapshot. You're doing a snapshot.
Yeah, on a Mac this is cool. A lot of people know the shortcut for taking a snapshot. Command 3.
Command Shift.
Command 4.
4.
But if you do Command Control Shift 4, it will copy to the clipboard. So it doesn't like the thing I did before when you just do Command Shift 4, it like default saves it to your desktop, and I don't need that there. So I'm gonna get rid of it. But when you copy the desktop or copy to clipboard, you can just paste, and that's nice.
And it does not put a copy of it on the desktop.
Right.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
And this is a perfect example if you ever bring in like reference for what you're doing, it's a good time to use that trick that I showed you, I think on day 1, where I'm going to put a layer mask on this that hides it, so that if I ever do this, hide and show all layers and different things again, it doesn't pop up again. But anyway, there it is. So yeah, I'm going to make her blue, like a Smurf.
Blue like a Smurf. Maybe she's sad.
So gradient maps are not as fast as hue saturation, but I find that they're much better. You can kind of control what you're doing in a way that you can't otherwise.
Aman, very observant too, just like in terms of the photo of her, she's so perfect. There's like not one freckle. And the hand, might have some subtle hints of veins.
She didn't put as much makeup on her hand.
Yeah. Her hand makeup guy was out that day.
I'm looking at these highlights. Can I not? I guess not. I want those to, I don't know, pop just a little bit, make the paint kind of look shiny.
Okay.
And that's pretty good. Okay. I'm pretty happy with that. I think. So let's see. Now I'll turn off. Well, I'll put a black mask on that, and just kind of show you guys.
Okay. You gonna paint? Yeah.
Like you can do. Well, I don't know. If you ever want to like put eye black on someone, you know, like a football player, you could do the same thing I just did with black, and
yeah,
it's not a great demonstration
and
of it, but it like keeps the sort of texture of the skin and so on a little bit better than HuSat. And anyway, I guess I'm going to undo that, and I'm going to paint it out of her eyes.
Am I seeing? Well, I'm definitely seeing in the reflection of her eyes at least 2 lights, and it looks like the shape of somebody's head in the reflection in her eyes. Does that look like a person? Like maybe that's like a camera or
definitely
something?
a photo studio. Trying to imagine where the makeup would stop.
So you're making it look like she actually has painted her face blue.
That was kind of the idea. We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see how that goes.
So scenario is she's a voiceover actor. She's coming in for a reading. She's getting into character.
Mm-hmm.
For Smurfs. She's doing a reading for Smurfs, of course. She's getting into character, all blue. Just like me. We're matching blue. Or she's just sad.
Sad? Don't be sad.
Don't be sad. Yeah, that's like the exact same color I wore today. I like it.
Look at that. Maybe that's...
Brad, you got a favorite color?
Do I? Nah.
Okay.
I don't think so.
I love it. No. Just pick one, man. Somebody wakes you up in the middle of the night. Tell me your favorite color.
Magenta.
Okay, good job.
Being decisive is hard for me, Paul.
The what?
Being decisive is hard for me.
Okay. And you actually said yesterday that you had a hard time with color. Although I'd say the colors that you picked yesterday, like the magenta, was gorgeous. So good.
Thanks. This is gonna... It's a little bit the same palette as what we did day... Oh, I guess the first piece of day 2. With the big hit of pink light.
I loved that. Yeah, that was like super awesome. Yeah, Rachel, I guess if she painted her face, she probably wouldn't paint her eyebrows and everything. Like, yeah, maybe.
I was wondering about
that's
that.
A good...
I might... I don't think she'd paint her hair.
Yeah, she also wouldn't paint her hair.
But
then does it just look ridiculous after a while? Like, we get it, but let's just imagine that she did paint her eyebrows blue. Right. Yeah. I just don't know if it would look good if everything wasn't blue. Like, I like what you have here, basically.
All right.
Anita Lima, I like the idea of a metallic claw. I like the idea of, like, yeah, maybe just 2 of her digits are, like, you know, like a robot. Mm-hmm. Or something.
All right, now's the time where I'm going to go in and clean up my...
I like all your references in here. Is she Megamind? Megamind's girlfriend? Is this Mrs. Manhattan? So...
That sounds like things I don't know anything about. What?
Exactly.
So guys, I just made a new retouching layer, and I'm going around and using the clone tool on current and below, and just getting rid of this.
This is
halo.
great because some people would probably try to choke that or something. Mm-hmm. And
yeah, I mean, I think I've done that on this stream, but in this case, I just want this, and I think I might just actually use the brush here.
Mystique. Kita, that's the best reference so far. Mystique's she's an ex-woman.
She's an ex, yeah, right. How come that's not a thing? Ex-woman.
I don't know, but you think they'd get with the times, right? And be like,
right.
yeah.
So here I'm using an old-fashioned paintbrush.
Maybe that's why it's like they kind of have the New Mutants. I think that's another series
Okay.
in reference to, instead of X-Men, it's New Mutants or I don't know what.
It's more.
Okay, so hopefully Onyx, this makes sense. You're just painting on top. You're using on a new layer, but you're sampling that layer, everything below it, and you're just stamping. Using the rubber stamp tool, selecting in, half an inch, and then just following that curve.
Yeah. And we'll see how much. I'm not going to do it now just because I don't want to bore you guys, but if I could spend all day on this, I would. I'm going to go in and like blur this mask a little bit more, and maybe give some of the magenta would kind of wrap around and come onto her face. Right now she looks very,
That's a pro move right there. Just taking into consideration her surroundings, and that's.
She looks really cut out right now, so we'll see if we can get around to that. But I want to at least get this, get this to a good spot overall first, and then see how bored you guys are.
And by the way, just to remind you, about 30 minutes to get in your portfolio for portfolio reviews. That'll happen in 30. Just use that portfolio review tab over there on the other side.
Guys, I haven't labeled my layers.
I feel like you legitimately do that and don't do it just because you're on a stream. You actually do label your layers.
I kind of do. Not all the time. There's definitely a balance. Sometimes it feels like it gets in the way of like a creative kind of flow if I'm just like jamming. But if I have time, I do. God, so many things to clean up.
So many things. Yeah, Rachel, I agree. We spent all that time making the hand match. now it definitely looks different.
Yeah. Wouldn't be the first time I've wasted time. Okay. Now let's do the hand. What color did I do that? Sort of a brighter.
I do. Well, okay. Don't hate me, but I have ideas.
Tell me.
What if you at least made part of her hand blue and then transition to red? Do whatever you're gonna do. But that's just a thought, because right now it increases the disconnect with two different colors. Or not. I don't know.
Oh, so you want it to? You want the disconnect to be? I like that idea actually. I say that like I'm surprised that I like that idea.
I'm surprised, Paul, that you actually are contributing for once. Thanks. Good job, Paul. About time.
Yeah, I wonder. Oh, all right, we'll see how that goes.
So Samantha, you're just working. Brad's just working on a Wacom 13-inch, 12-inch, less. Yeah, that's less because this is a 12-inch iPad, and that's smaller.
Right, and the frame. Yeah.
You're
It's not the biggest one, but it's.
I think
the
that's
most portable one.
Yeah, it's like a perfect size.
Or a portable one. That's not right. Brightening red is so difficult.
Red is one of the most difficult colors.
Yeah. Try to speed this process up a little bit here.
No, you're good. You tweak away. So question is her hand's a different color, her face is a different color, but it's still in the same environment, or no?
That's the idea, I guess. Now you're feeling
I love your whole thought of the splash of color on her neck and different things like that. The spillage of another color. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they'll just look like different worlds, but that's okay too. I mean, again, this was just sort of a stylistic thing, kind of.
I think Tim, I think is this your favorite tip, by the way? Because I saw you mentioned this earlier in the week.
The fact that there are other gradients in the gradient map that you can load up.
You mean like pre-done ones?
Yeah, click the little gear right there.
Oh, look at that.
Actually,
Noise
no,
samples?
there should be more here.
Oh,
There's those.
I've never looked at those.
And I think, yeah, so you can, I'm surprised there's not like an add all. But anyway, so there's more that through there, and then I think through another menu.
Mm-hmm.
So that's Tim's
That's
favorite.
cool.
Tim's
I-
favorite tip.
Thanks, Tim.
It is fun, Tim, by the way, because it's like instantly like sort of like recolor.
What if I...
How will we? Yeah, so exactly, Huxel, just kind of like how does her red hand kind of like reflect on her blue face, like if it does, and that sort of thing. Just like general questions to think
Yeah.
about. Like, does that happen? I
mean, in real
wanna-
life, it definitely would. We're just gonna... I
Yeah.
guess we'll see where this ends up. I think...
It's not going to be a 6-hour, 8-hour stream.
No.
We might not have time
No.
for it, but
But even... I mean, I guess, maybe it would have helped if I knew exactly what I wanted when I started this, but I think the reference that I had seen was like, it was maybe a bright red hand on a fully black person or something. And,
okay.
and it looked super surreal, but also really cool. So I don't know. I'm fine with it looking a little bit surreal, I think. Again.
I like it, and I just like the idea of just kind of playing with things and seeing where it goes. And that's why we do these, live, just to kind of see where it ends up. I know I'm learning a ton.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope you
Regardless.
guys don't mind the experimentation.
And you're picking some tough things to do, because I think, definitely coloring this red, using a gradient map so you can splash a little bit of like, I don't know if it was orange or a lighter color in the highlights, whatever you did there, like you're, doing some smart things. Somebody was like, no, we wanted the nails red. Sorry.
Uh-oh, I got it.
You got it backwards. We wanted those nails red.
This is a bad manicurist. Isn't there a better word for that? Not manicurist, but...
Manicurian? No, I don't
Is
know.
that an esthetician? No, I don't think so.
No. Yeah, manicurist, I guess.
Manicurist. Somebody out there knows.
Do you get manicures or pedicures or anything like that?
No, I did one time at Burning Man.
Oh, at Burning Man. That was probably
Which is
a
where
whole
one-
other story.
Which is where one goes to do that kind of thing.
Because everything's like, sort of like barter system or like, I don't know. I think there are
this
certain...
is a...
Yeah, I don't know.
It's not barter system, but I don't know, that's a slippery slope, Paul. We'll be talking about Burning Man for hours if you're not careful.
I love it. You were in the freaking San Francisco, probably LA too. Like just I feel like everybody here goes to Burning Man.
Yeah, here especially.
Like everyone goes to Burning Man.
There's plenty of it in Los Angeles, but yeah.
How many
Wow,
years have
this
you
is not-
gone?
Here we go. I have gone like 11 years,
11.
which makes me sound old.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know. We might have reached a point in this here pretty soon where I feel like I'm just going to be boring the hell out of people while I finick with this thing.
No, man, it's just nice. Nice watching you work. We're just chilling, listening to the music, answering
right.
questions. Apparently, Brianne gives her boyfriend pedicures. I'll get manicures and pedicures, not on regular, but
Yeah? I could
it's a good
probably
thing.
stand to get
Just
more of
keep
them.
it all in. Whatever it is, just keep it in check. Show it some respect. Keep it in check.
Yeah.
In general, that's what I
Alright.
think.
Right.
I don't care how you get there. Just like, that's all.
That's kind of cool. Let's try your blue to red thing. I kind of like that idea. In this case,
Paul Fernando Lozano Ramirez, welcome.
whoa,
I love it. You have all the names.
rolls off the tongue.
Yeah.
You have all the names.
Oh, that's cool. So Susanna's fixing to do a carnival avatar, apparently. But yes, this is somewhat avatar-ish too. Yeah.
What about Carnival Avatar?
That's what she's
Wait,
making creating a carnival avatar.
Cool.
So this is going to help her with that project. Alexandra approves of the nails. Says the nails are awesome.
That look kind of.
Oh, that's interesting. Oh yeah, I like the gradient's kind of fun. It's tough to match. I think you have the color right, but it feels like a little washed out. But that's cool. The
Gradient.
blue.
Let's see.
The blue looks. I think the color's spot on. It just needs more contrast. Like.
Yeah, I think maybe.
But it might
maybe
depend on
needs
the
that.
angle you do it in.
Oops.
Wow. I mean, what this does is definitely ties it together, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I kind of.
like it.
I'm with you. I like it too.
Oh, Susanna, you're in St. Thomas? That's where you live? You're heading into carnival time, I guess, in the springtime? That's awesome. I've been there. I've been to St. John's a couple times. St. John's, U.S. Virgin Islands.
Oh, yeah, cool.
But you have to fly into St. Thomas to get to St. John's.
I went to the British Virgin Islands years ago.
BVI.
I might have flown into St. Thomas. Is that possible?
What?
Who knows? I said I might have flown into St. Thomas. Is that possible?
You probably did.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't think those islands aren't big enough to have. Well, they might have a small airport, but chances are you're flying into St. Thomas.
Yeah.
Or St. Croix.
Yeah,
But
I
St.
want
Thomas
that.
is closer. And I've been to the BVIs too. Which you got there by boat, right?
Yep.
Probably flew into St. Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
And then bumped around on a boat, bouncing around the different.
I would like a little.
That's kind of what I like about it. I like Jen Miro, like that. We are getting like a little bit of purple in there, which is kind of fun.
Is this gonna work? Let's find out.
Oh yeah, Brienne. Yeah, exactly. Something for the Pride Festival. This definitely has a.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. It can be
cool with
used in
that.
other things, like whether it's Pride or a carnival or who knows what.
Well, not perfect, but I'm gonna call that part good enough.
Yeah.
I think.
Now let's talk about the background.
Mm-hmm.
Is that purple the right color?
Hmm.
Or do we need to tie it in more?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm thinking. Do we? Is there a way to kind of just cycle through some different colors easily?
Oh yeah. Kind of ties it all together a little bit better.
Yeah, is that better? We're open to suggestions as well. Tim, I don't know if you know
I think it's
onyx holes, or is it just straight darker? Is there a like that darker definitely looks that ties it all. That looks. I think that looks better.
I agree.
And do you
Wholeheartedly.
put more of a shadow like behind her head, like it's almost like it's a wall and it's being cast?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Paul, you're full of good ideas today.
Full of good ideas.
And let's do.
How about we leave the hand red, but also add some blues to edges? Yeah, so we were talking about that the spillage of color from the blue from the face on the hand, the red from the hand on the blue face, and different things like that.
definitely.
I mean, good call. In general, like that's
absolutely needs to happen.
Do you kind of sometimes exaggerate that splash of color because you're trying to simulate something that's not real and you're trying to make it look real? So do you push it a little further, like more spillage, just to sell the idea? I don't know if you ever do that.
Yeah. Sometimes. I find that it's, if I kind of go over the top and then I look back at something, I tend not to like it as much as when I've had more restraint.
Okay,
But
so maybe restraint's
not
the
always
name
true.
of the game.
Yeah,
She's
she's what?
the new member of the Blue Man Group.
I'm gonna try and do some of that spillage now. Is what I'm working on.
Okay, that's good. Jen isn't a huge. I'm just taking some mental notes. Jen's not a huge fan of the green nails.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, what would be great for the nails is not even picking one color. Like, are there different colors? So maybe it does start to become like a pride poster. Who knows?
Right.
But that could just be me not making commitment to one other color.
Let's see.
Yellow would be good because again, these small areas you can say, hey, let's make this yellow. Try not to, Yeah, I can see this being used in Vegas as well.
Is that gonna help?
Ivan wants to know if you're still working with HBO.
Yeah. Yes, I am. I mean, I don't work for HBO. I work for an agency that often has HBO projects.
And by the way, Brad, you're probably looking at his work, bradbasham.com, or just go through Behance. But like, I feel like this is just a fraction of your work to a degree, because a lot of stuff you work on and just like never see the light of day is what you're telling me.
Or
a portion of it.
It can see the light of day in my portfolio later.
Okay.
So what you see is a reasonably good selection of work, but it can't be super recent. So I can't put anything up that
No Game of Thrones
still
spoilers.
in the works. Yeah, exactly. Though that's all out now. That's a pretty quick and dirty job at that I'm not thrilled with, but I'm starting to feel like we should just put some type on this.
Oh, I love it.
I
agree.
Call it a thing because
I
I don't want to just, again, these things are more, a little bit like yesterday. I was more interested in showing you guys the process than.
Yeah. So do we need to title this or something, do we need to title this? Do you have something in mind? Do you want us to do it?
I don't. You guys can start working on that while I finish a couple little things here. That's not very good.
And maybe it is, let's see, what's the St. Thomas Festival that's coming up? I'm just curious. Ideally, if we just had one strong word would be nice.
Yeah.
I would love to see a letter or some type that kind of maybe wrap around the finger or something, or like the fingers in front and also behind some type is always kind of fun. I don't know how that will look. I'm just throwing out ideas. That's probably the most difficult spot for type because it's right there in the center.
Yeah.
But you want
let's experiment a little bit. You got people.
I think like juxtapose is a word.
Let's. I'm gonna mess with these nails a little bit because I appreciate that suggestion that they're not quite the right color. I guess
you could just go with, I don't know if it's like street fair or just fair.
What do we think? What color do you think these nails should be, Paul?
I was actually thinking, first of all, that's pretty extreme. I was thinking more of a yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah. They
That's
were
kinda cool.
like, yeah, kind of. You were just Voodoo Fest.
Voodoo.
Junku is one. Junkanu.
Junkanu?
Yeah, Junkanu.
That's the name of a festival?
Yeah, let's do that. I mean, that's.
Junkanu.
Oh.
You know, her eyes should probably change colors, right? So let's be like a blue or something.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Marquise, is HBO hiring?
I don't know. You have to ask them.
You'd have to ask them.
Yeah, let's do it this way.
Okay, so Brienne, I guess people are kind of interested in your background and just in like working with HBO, how long projects take, months, years, like how do you like? I'm sure it's I don't know if they. How does HBO do it? Do they contact agencies and say, hey, like a request for design, or what is that?
Right.
What is that like?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too privy to the like behind the scenes of who's contacting who. I think, you know, account coordinators have relationships with people over there and bring in work often because of personal relationships. But then HBO pays for everything they see. So we're not presenting on, you know, we're not trying to win a job. They'll have many agencies working on a project, and for many rounds, all kind of competing against each other, and they're paying for it the whole way. So that's kind of why I can't show my work often, because they own it, and I have to sort of.
Well, that was the big thing, because I think as a big company or like a cool client to get, they could really take advantage of that to a degree as well. You know?
Yes.
Like
right.
HBO is like, oh, you want to work on Game of Thrones? Hey, work for free to maybe get the project, which is just a jerk move.
Would be a jerk move, but they don't do that.
Yeah. Good.
Let's see. I don't know what else to. What's funny? When I look at. Never mind.
Okay, sorry. The shape of the nails are clearly not manicured. You usually want the tip to taper more. Probably wouldn't be too hard to edit. Jen, good call. Thank you. Jen's commenting on the manicure. She's not happy with the manicured nails. Like, you're right. We would actually, you know, ideally you spend more time and smooth those out and stuff. But like, good eye.
Yeah. What's she saying? That it would like.
I think it would taper more. Is what she's saying. The tip to taper more.
Interesting.
I mean, it depends on what type of nail you're getting.
She's not wrong, but I'm not gonna.
Yeah,
only because I don't want to bore people here.
Yeah, that's outside of. What
there is a stage. So we work on what we call comps. I think I've kind of explained this already, where we're working. People like me are working at low resolution and kind of fast and, whatever the expression is, fast and dirty, quick and loose, something.
Yeah.
And then if the client picks it. Then we get to spend days going back in and like building everything at higher resolution and finessing everything. So, you know, getting the shape of the nails right and so on. But
okay. So this might be the initial one, and honestly, like the client could not even go for it. Like, it has to represent what you're going
honestly,
for well, and they could be like, nah, don't even. They're not even looking at it.
I mean,
that
they're seeing hundreds of options, so
wow.
The odds that they go with anything are always really low.
I'm surprised that they're seeing so many. Like, how many ideas are you guys pitching? I know it varies, but.
So our agency is, you know, a round one presentation might be 30,
wow.
25 to 30 different posters, and they have multiple agencies each presenting that amount, and that's just round one. So.
I had no idea that you were presenting like so many different options.
Right. Yeah, I mean, the cool thing is that it meant that, you know, from the beginning of my career, I had sort of creative liberty because, you know, all of the agency's eggs aren't in one basket. If I do something that they don't love, it's fine. I'm one of 30 ideas. Mm-hmm. So I've been able to come up with my own ideas and execute, and occasionally, yeah, whatever, mess things up. for my whole career, which is cool. That's the thing I love about it. Getting things killed all the time and having nothing ever see the light of day can be frustrating. But
you look at it as I get to pitch what I want to do, right? And it might not see the light of day, but I got to make my own thing,
yeah,
which is awesome.
I can't talk and read at the same time, but I feel like people are asking a couple good questions. Do I like that competitive environment, Brienne? I do. You know, sometimes it's stressful, of course, but it's fast-paced and interesting, and yeah, I like it. I think a lot of times that's what we're sort of paid for, is not for being the world's best graphic designers, the world's best anything, just, although we need to know Photoshop about as well as anyone. But just being able to handle the pace, the pressure, and all that stuff. Anyway.
And you got to be able to work fast and editable as well, because again, you could have to go back to this and do it to an entirely different person's face, right?
Yeah, right.
Or something like that. That's why, because you've said, I need to remember, I got to save these settings or whatever.
Right.
Or
Fast.
do it to the whole cast.
I got fired from my first job because I did something that took me a little while to do, and then half an hour before the deadline, my creative director was like, "Could you make this way?" And I just couldn't do it in time because it had been too sort of intricate.
Oh, wow.
And he came back in and he said, "Why the hell didn't you do what I asked you to?" And I said, "Well, I couldn't." And he's like, "All right, get out of here."
Ooh, that sounds like pretty competitive.
Yeah, it was, especially since I was wet behind the ears still, it was tough, but learned from it.
Yeah.
All right, let's, you know, I guess it's kind of to the point that this isn't perfect. I'm not in love with it, but it sells an idea, and we can put some type on it.
Yeah,
and,
let's put some type on it and see what happens.
Yeah.
I still think this should be like a festival or a show or something like that, is what it looks like to me. What are your...
It certainly feels that way. Oh, brutal. I thought she was suggesting that we call this brutal.
Yeah, no. That the chat will be delayed a little bit.
Right.
So again, there's still the Junkanu. We use a different word. We can just grab whatever we want. We can call it.
It said that was just bugging me a little bit too much.
We could call it Miro Fest for Jen Miro, since she's one of our stylists in the chat.
I'm just cleaning up a few edges that I just couldn't live with.
Would you ever try, now what if we add a color lookup to the, would you, because to the whole thing and see what happened. I mean, I don't know if you're at that point, but while we're thinking of things. Cirque du Soleil.
It does kind of look like a Cirque du Soleil thing. The hair does. I kind of want to change that hair. We'll do that at the end if we have time. Color lookup.
And I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna help or what, or make it better or worse. Wow.
That changed it.
That changed it.
It's kind of cool. Nope.
That's electric.
Random. Kind of like that too.
That's scary, dude. That almost looks like demonic right now. Wow.
I like it.
I'm into it though. I really like this. I think this is it's an entirely different look for something else.
We're no longer in festival territory.
It's more like a possessed.
It's like American Horror Story or something.
Yeah, exactly. But it's freaking awesome.
Yeah, let's just go this direction. Why not? And then I'm gonna put a high pass layer on here. I think before I did a sharpen layer, but now I'll do. So yeah, we're gonna do another 50% gray layer here. No, we're not.
Oh yeah, and we have less than 5 minutes to get our get your portfolios in.
Filter, other, high pass. So I don't know how many of you guys know about a high pass layer, but it's kind of just sharpens the sharpens everything up a little bit, and kind of on a base of a neutral gray layer. So then you have to put it on a opacity mode. Overlay is usually the best for it. So
that adds
it's just like sharpening.
High pass. Okay, and it sharpens everything.
But you need to do it on it's not an
gray
adjustment
layer.
layer. So you need to, what I did is that, again, that Command Option Shift E to stamp visible on the top, and then you can go filter, high pass. And it's quite similar to sharpen. I'm actually, yeah, so I sometimes go back and forth on what I want, but in this case I'm doing overlay. I mean, high pass. Side note, the shortcut for overlay mode is Shift Option O. And then if you like want to cycle through them ever, if you hit Shift plus and minus, it you can just kind of go through these modes quickly and see what you like. And we're getting even moodier here if I do something like that, but we're gonna stick with overlay.
That's good.
And oh yeah, that's funny. Sometimes you just got to step away, and this sort of effectively was stepping away from the colors we had before. And
Do you?
this has all kinds of problems, but we tied it together.
Yeah, and you are right. Like Jen does say, just watch out for like if the face is too dark, it could create some issues.
Oh.
But no, well noted. It's like she's supposed to be kind of in the shadow or whatever. But yeah, so.
All right. So
that's pretty
what do
good.
we want? Do we ever come up with
Oh, a title. Oh, by the way, yeah, Kevin, great idea. I think you said it. Like the color you use. He was like, yeah, you can match that yellow. What do you guys want to do? What do we call this? Do we want to go dark? Do we want to go, what is it, American Horror Story? Do we do Carnival? Dark Carnival? I don't know, like Cool Beans?
We could do
No. Little Break?
Cool Bean?
I'm joking about that one.
Got red-handed. Snake. What? Oh, she wants us to do the snake thing, maybe, you think?
Oh yeah, did we
snake
mention
thing
that? Yeah, well, I mean,
Did we?
we could. We really only had like 30 seconds before it's portfolio reviews for the day.
How much time do we have after that? We have,
Yeah, we usually like to, donate a decent amount of time to portfolio reviews.
Cool.
So, Morph, The Stranger. Stranger's kind of fun.
I like that. For now, I don't know if we can put
AHS. Okay, yeah, go with AHS, sure.
American Horror Story
Yeah,
kind
this
of
is
thing,
fan
but then
art.
that,
It's like fan art or
that's right.
something. That's fun too. I like the sans serif or the serif. Sorry,
Yeah.
the serif.
I think
It's sharp and pointy, like it'll cut ya. And this is so.
I kind of want to do something. I sort of want to do things that I can never do with my actual work, which is like sort of make it illegible and wild. So I'm just putting a vector mask on the type here,
Oh,
and then I can.
love it. Love it.
It's not at all legible, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, I like. I like it. I mean, yeah, you're just having some fun.
Yeah. Maybe that's the...
Tim wants sawage.
We didn't use it the other day.
Sawage. This would be fun if you, and then do you play with the depth, like is her head in front of and
That's
then
fun,
behind and
sure.
things like that. Like just part of the
Not hard to
letters.
do. I mean, you can't read it at all, but...
Yeah. This is fun, man. I really like how this is turning out. It's really cool.
Thanks.
Yes, Jennifer, you're going to have to watch the replay. Man, Brad, you are the man. Clock does say 000 for the portfolio submission deadline. So we're going to go ahead and launch off into portfolio reviews.
Love
right
it.
now. Let's do
Let's
it.
do it.
Whoa, woo, floating in the air. You can't hear me too well. We're still the spaceship, so the air is breathable. Welcome, everybody. There we are. We had to go. We had to hop in a rocket, go clear up to space to see these amazing portfolios. We had to view them from space. I'm going to take this helmet off, which is fun. You can keep yours on. It's like, here's the portfolio in the background. All right. Because I want to pull
Tricked
this
me.
up.
I turned around and
full
looked at the green screen.
Right? You're like, wait, it's not really there. So welcome. Yes, had to pull this up full screen. Again, we're in a spaceship. Had to kind of view this from the sky, and want to welcome or congratulate Onyx from North Carolina, Trevinto. Onyx Trevinto.
Terravinto?
Trevinto, yeah, you're right. It's probably like Italian,
Sounds like it.
maybe.
Terravinto.
Yeah, so just feel free. Good job. Just, drop in. Self-taught, Photoshop lover, love to create. Awesome. Like, the more information, the better. And we'll kind of dive into this. And this is good. We want to be able to pick, like, maybe somebody who's new in their career, somebody that's maybe been around a while. Doesn't matter. We're not picking the best of the best. It's okay to have these. Like, we know you're starting out. Like, have Adobe stock there. We get it. Like, we're just encouraging people to just work and create stuff. So, and this alone, like, probably took a lot of work. Like, in fact, for this portfolio, I'd say, I don't know what the original looked like, but like it might be good to have. Here's the original photos, and then here's sort of the final.
I did that on my portfolio. I think when you're, people don't always understand what's involved in compositing images, and in my case, sometimes I think that all I've done is slap some type onto a picture, and if you show them like the collection of pictures below it that you used to make this, sometimes it makes that clear.
That's a great idea, actually. So this one's called Cupid, but again, just to kind of get started, have some fun in here. I like this one too. Let's check this out.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's fun to look at. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, into it. I'd say
That's super cool.
continue working and.
Right. I like the sort of the way the lips come off of the pattern, and I like the way the eyes come off the pattern. The nose feels a little bit unresolved because it's kind of it's neither fully there nor fully contained in the pattern. So you might try to finesse that a little bit, but
exactly.
it's a cool image.
Yeah, it gets a little muddy, but yeah, I agree. Like, everything you just said.
I like those.
These
landscapes
are fun.
turning the corner things. Those are cool.
Okay, so here we go. Inspired by Jesus Ramirez. So Jesus did a demo video, I'm sure, on doing this sort of type of work, which, hey, Onyx pulled it off, like, really pretty well. I would just say sharpen this edge because it gets a little blurry right here. But if you maybe somehow try to like sharpen it or something. But good job trying to get these to match up. This matches up
maybe
pretty
see
well.
if you can. Well, I don't know. Yeah, it'd be tricky. That feels like it wants some of the like if you have the corner of where a waterfall falls over a cliff for that little transition there. It feels too soft, you're right.
Okay, that's a good point. Like, do you just take a reference from an entirely different photo or something? If you take the actual photo, or at least study it.
Right.
But yeah,
Same time, it's supposed to be surreal, I think, and it's working pretty well.
Yeah,
I dig
totally. Let's check this one out to see.
Whoa.
Yeah, so this one's a little better. We kind of do have like a highlight here. I really love this part.
Yeah, it's super cool.
That is cool.
Unexpected.
But it looks like there's just kind of like a highlight there. I'd probably just get rid of that almost. Like I feel like this is a kind of a harsh line. But I don't know the goal.
I mean, it's helping define the corner, but the other way to define that corner would be as if there's not much of a tone change between the sort of top and the side, and if you darkened the right side of it a little bit, it would make it feel more like a corner.
Darken the right side, or not just this one swoosh, but maybe it's all a little lighter and just kind of trails out or something. But fun to look at. I dig this.
Yeah, super cool.
That part. All right, Onyx is in chat. Good to see you here, my friend. Maybe you're proud of anyone specifically. We'll, cover this one for a little bit. Let's go take a look at this latest one. Photo restoration. Uh-oh. Oh, man.
Whoa.
Okay, this is what we're talking about.
Who did that?
Here's the...
That's not very nice.
Yeah. Here's the one that's tore up, and here it is put together. Good job.
You never know.
Love it.
Yep.
Pam and Ron back together again. I'm trying to find
I
the
want to know the
scenes.
story here.
Right? Like, what happened?
I think I see a little seam going over the, he's kind of right.
Oh, okay, so like right
over the trunk
here.
of the car, but still pretty well done. Is that a seam in the pavement, or is that just like the pavement, a crack in the pavement?
It looks like twine to kind of hold.
Over here.
Oh, sorry. I don't know, but it works. I think you're right. Other than this, I would never be able to tell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. Good stuff.
That is awesome. Let's go further. Okay, yeah, there's that. Good job. Attempt to one more halftones. Nice, you're playing around with different things. This is what I'd hope to expect from somebody's portfolio, just to try out different things and see what you like to do and what resonates with you, and incorporating some type in here, doing some halftone effects. Super cool. I would like to know, and maybe it's right in here, I would like to know what you use to make this. So when you upload projects, you can say, I used Photoshop, I used Illustrator, whatever it takes, or whatever you did would be good. Good job. Last one, open road. Cool.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, having fun. That's exactly what I'd expect. So continue on your journey, and let's go ahead and see your pretty little face here too. By the way, let's like throw update your little avatar. So we're gonna move on to the next one if you're ready. We're gonna move on to Anantha Krishnan's All About Designs.
In
As
India.
a dribble page. Yeah.
It's
I don't know if he's up right now.
Right. What time is it there?
Looks like he's been. Is this
middle of the night?
Okay, an intern. So this guy, he has more experience. He's been an intern a couple different places. Freelance graphic designer. I like to read this. Final year of animation and graphic design student at St. Joseph. Okay, cool. Who's featured in the Wacom gallery? This is going to be fun. Oh, man.
Really?
Oh, what do you want to see? They're all gorgeous. Let's scroll down.
I don't know where to start. Who's an illustrator too?
I want to do some of the Photoshop stuff since you're here. Like we'll start. Ooh, this is 3D visuals. Oh, this is Cinema 4D. You're killing me because this is not easy to do.
Yeah. Too advanced for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't do this.
But I love that type. Like that header. This is cool, man. Good stuff. Let's get into some more Photoshop stuff. Oh, thank you. I love that too.
30 Days of Malaysian Letters.
Ooh,
I mean, this is gorgeous. This is sweet, huh?
I love that. Is that done in 3D or just illustrated, painted also?
I don't know.
Say. Yeah, super cool though.
Yeah, very, very fun stuff. Okay, so this might be actually like 3D, who knows? But, wow. Okay, so impressed with that. Let's go on to this one.
That's never easy. I've tried that before. It's just not enough skin on the face to sample to get the mouth to go away in a way that like looks natural, but he did a pretty good job.
It is pretty good. I guess this is
maybe it's just that
your
like
best resources.
Yeah.
Like, probably right up there.
Mm-hmm. But it's good.
Good job.
It looks freaky.
Yeah, I'd have to think about that. That's very captivating. That photo is amazing. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Pretty good stuff, too. Oh, man.
He's got all this smoke around him and his cigarette's not smoking.
Oh, good point.
Need a little trail of smoke going up.
A little trail. It looks like
together.
it was right here, but then he stamped this part out and didn't continue.
Alien.
Deep. Happiness is what I can't hear. This is getting deep, man. I love it. I love the use of the type. Like, really kind of play with the spacing of the letters. It's super good. Yeah.
It's awesome. It's nice type, nice color treatment, good Photoshop work.
That's probably 3D. Some of this is 3D. Let's go to this one. Malbrew Visualizations Branding Project. Okay, so this is 3D visualizations again. So this, again, more 3D stuff. Yeah, super clean.
I like the branding.
Yeah, oh, I love this.
I wonder if
one.
he designed the logo or if he's just piecing them together.
Yeah, and if he did do the logo, I just want to see that on its own. But you're certainly selling this. This is super strong, which is why he made it the thumbnail. Yeah, this rendering of the water, a little depth,
great.
a little blur. Yeah. Awesome. I love this. Available for freelance. Like your email. Just let people know what you're trying to do and what you want to do. Don't be afraid to ask, I guess. And then he's kind of like
about some
you.
Variety. He's got
He does. I mean, because you kind of have illustration, like graphic work, and then you get into sort of your more photography, compositing stuff. It's like he's the same. I think this is fun. And let's just see.
colors are really nice.
Yeah.
I feel like that sun flare is coming from the wrong. I don't know. But besides that.
Okay. Like it's the brightest spot is actually on his. Maybe
Kinda,
it would be that
and
way.
also like the, you know, there's light above his shoulder but not under his arm, so it feels like the sun should be coming from kind of over his shoulder, maybe.
Like this, there's too much light up here, maybe.
For the sun to be where it is.
Okay.
I don't know. That's my.
No, that's why we're here, man. That's just what. Okay.
Is that a rendering?
I think this is original.
It looks, yeah.
And I'm just looking at kind of where the light's coming from, like you're saying. But good job. I love the idea of adding that lens flare. It kind of ties it all together, and I think it, you know, I don't know. I think it just helps tie it together.
What's going on here?
These are just composites.
Progressively,
Progressive,
sort of-
yeah.
Cool.
I think that lens flare is just an awesome idea. I think it's cool.
Yeah, it really adds nice color. It doesn't add realism, I guess. But
Okay.
But it looks real nice.
And this is fun. You know, ground, throw that down there. So good job, man. I love seeing the progressive changes there. Oh no, what is this? The project have a bunch of posters Nice did during his college days, 2016, 2018 there. Okay, so this would be fun poster designs. Please note that these are not professional designs. Oh, stop selling yourself short.
I like the upside down forest there.
Yeah.
It's a cool way to fade out an image.
Let me click on these.
I wonder what that says.
I will say that I feel like these shadows right in here are darker than the poster. I'd beef those, make those shadows lighter so they match. And
matching black levels is an important
one
step.
thing, and this might be something that, I don't know, maybe I think you're just good, but some people have what they might call like check layers, but basically they turn everything to black and white. They have a layer that transfers everything to black and white. And you're able to, by removing the color, you can tell if how the blacks match up.
That's interesting. Yeah, I've seen a version of that was like this curved layer that zigzagged basically, and it made everything, I kind of have to show you, but it showed any like imperfections with masking and retouching and everything because it made
Interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of wild.
James Bond in love. I love this. I love everything about this whole, this is just fun, right? Please tell me that's him. Like, I hope that's him. This is great.
This is the sequel.
After Love. Did it? Oh, they're still together. Look at it. Or is that he better not beat it with another woman. Yeah.
That's cool.
Fingers off a little bit right in there, but that's awesome. This is great. I like this accent of color right here, kind of warming it up. Like, that's cool. That one might be my favorite one. I don't know how many there are. There could be like 50 of these. So many. So many. That's cool.
Busy. That's how you get better, though. Doing
and he's like,
lots of work.
Hey, these aren't professional. I think, yeah, they're really strong. But here's a case of, I would say if you don't think it's professional, maybe just don't put it in your portfolio, if that's your opinion. You know? What do you think?
If you don't think it's professional,
yeah, like he said in the type, it's like, these aren't professional. I'm like, okay, if you
when you're just starting, you need something in your portfolio, put it there. But
exactly.
But now that you've got enough amazing work in here, I don't know that you need it.
And I see where he's coming from, because I feel like when you do a lot of work for a client, you have all this work that you did, you kind of want to show all the work you did towards something. But if it's not the work you want to get, you know, don't show it. Or if it doesn't show you off as in the best light possible. Yeah. I think all of these are, portfolio as a whole.
I want to see that bug with the glowing lights.
Okay, you got it.
I want to see if there's more characters
see, it's
and
about
monsters.
1:48. We probably have about 4 more minutes before we are done. And I want to make sure we switch back to your screen. And series of character designs. Oh, during his free time. Yeah, I would kind of like to know what he did to make these. It looks painted. Kind of looks painted.
Yeah.
And it could be a rendering that was painted, or it could be all purely painted. Ooh, here we go.
Is it going to show us the process? Huh.
That's fun. I mean, that's definitely like 3D. Look at those lights glowing. Oh yeah, that's pretty interesting. I like it.
Yeah, that's impressive.
I like the splash of color, the radial gradient in the background. It's kind of cool. There we go.
Cool, yeah, so they were just painted.
Yeah, I would just say, like, for some of these, like, I like when he adds a little bit of context. That's exactly what I want to see, you know? And I think on a technical level, since he does so much 3D, and then there's painting, there's vector stuff, like, let me know which tools you used. Again, because I'm curious. And maybe potential, you know, clients would be interested.
I would think so. I mean, you know, there's so many different creative types out there, and some people show work that wasn't their idea, but was their execution, or was their idea but not their execution, or maybe they did the initial character sketch, but then someone rendered it in 3D for them. So a little description kind of about what your role in the project was can be super helpful. And that, by the way, is something I still have to do. My Behance page is...
Yeah, like tagging other people, because you could have it could be a sort of multi-person project where you could tag them, and here's all the people associated with it. But you're right, like call out what you did, sort of thing.
Yeah.
You know, the more clarity, the better. But man, in general,
Great stuff.
guy's got skills.
Mad
He's got
skills.
skills. I don't know if Anantha is in chat. I haven't really been watching, but
He must be in bed, right?
he has to be in
Gotta be
bed.
like...
But considering the amount of work he does, he's probably doing a rendering. It's probably 4 a.m. and he's doing a render.
He's hard at work.
Or something like he's half awake, half asleep, seeing if this render is going to turn out okay. Like, whatever. Anantha, you're great. I hope you watch this recording later. You're fantastic. Onyx, you're doing great as well. Continue to get involved in these like daily creative challenges and everything. And you could end up like Brad here as we show his final screen, I guess.
I mean, it hasn't changed this time.
Oh, okay.
But
I'm scared now.
yeah,
It's cool.
this maybe needs to pop a little bit, but
Yeah, into it. I think anytime you're dealing with like large type like that, the fact that you have that shadow or it's not like a flat color, you just got to be, you know, I like that shadow, like that.
probably would be even darker, like right behind her, but. Yeah. That's too strong. Anyway, I don't know. Someone said, what do we got?
Couple
Should I-
minutes.
Couple minutes.
I don't know if you have much time for what
Yeah.
are you thinking.
Oh, I don't know.
we have any
I
more
can just
que-
show you guys this thing rather than building it for you. I had originally built this wanting to show you it, but then I kind of decided that it was...
Oh, the snake?
The snake,
Okay, yeah. By all means, yeah. Open it up.
I'll just show you. There weren't any like real exciting tricks or anything here. But I think I did that HDR toning layer on the woman again. So she is originally like that.
Oh, wow.
And master out. Put the background on, I guess. We'll just build this one by one. And that's the back of the snake, which is part of a later thing.
All these layers are basically turning her from light to dark.
Yeah, so I
Right.
darkened, this is a gradient map that I used to darken her shirt. Then this is, I guess I just did gradient map to darken her face too, rather than HDR toning this time. Darken it a little bit more. I wanted to do this sort of like black on black thing where the eyes popped at each other. This, I guess I added later after I
Probably
bring
need
the
a
snake
shadow
in.
from the
Yeah,
snake.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I can turn the snake on. Snake was I used this picture of the snake to get these wrapping parts and this guy, and it was none of it's the same species of snake probably, so I had to kind of fake it a little bit. And the lighting isn't perfect, but it was good enough. Anyway, so there's that corner. And so I tried to make it black, and then I think I added the red to make it look like the other snake that I like. This was sort of my hero picture, if you will. So that was just painted in with a layer mask, and then retouch that guy, and finally the head. Black and white. Make the eyes red. Now I can put these shadows back on the woman. And that's how that came together. I think nothing too exciting to show you there from a process standpoint. That's why I ended up not building it live. But
Well, and again, I just like peeking under the hood it's all the fundamentals that you talked about over the course of the 3 days. You know, just with like
a different example. You realize how many pieces and parts you used for this one.
Yeah, right.
You know, and that's something I'd show in your portfolio. Here's the 3 snakes. Here's this original, and that's what's compelling. She was bright daylight, white background, and such a dramatic change. So
I think that last layer was an HDR toning layer, where I brought out those highlights a little bit.
yeah, that's what really helps, like
and then
makes it pop.
Sort of needed that. Yeah.
Love it.
Anyway, so
You're the
there's,
man, Brad.
there's my snake.
You are the man. So yeah, feel free to click on everybody's names, follow them. You can see Bradley Basham there. You can click
That's
on
me.
info and follow him through Behance and maybe send him a message or whatever. If you have further questions, thanks so much for watching, everyone. We have the replays, and also Val's going to be up tomorrow, so feel free. Sorry, my head was really big, but right over there. We'll have Talon Wadsworth, little UX UI tomorrow, and Voodoo Val will be doing a daily creative challenge. So everybody, thank you so much, Brad. Damn, thank you. You were the man, dude. It was awesome.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks
Thank
for watching.
you. And if you post this work, hopefully you'll post it to Behance, and you
I
can
will.
check that stuff out later. It's super cool, but like, you know, we want to appreciate it, basically.
Yeah,
So
it's been fun.
thank you, man.
Thanks for guiding me through.
Hey, no problem. Thanks, everybody. Join us. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. See ya.
See you guys.